is a black canvas board. I'm just showing you different techniques you can use. So we're going to combine acrylic with printmaking. Means that you're making an imprint on the paper. You can use stencils, you can use objects. So I'm just going to show you a few examples on how to do something like that. Hold on. So you can use a stencil. So I have two fish here. You can tape it down if you want it to be really perfect, but I'm just going to hold it down for now. The nice thing about stencils is that you can repeat them. You can also make your own. So this is one I bought, but you can make your own with paper or cardboard. So I'm going to use some yellow and white. I just want to make sure it is set so it's not moving around. You can do a painting underneath and then add this to it, or do this first and add a hand painting afterwards. You can change color, like let's add some pink now. And then I'm going to pull it off. And look at that. And you can make like a school of fish. You can also have them overlapping, so you can have something going over this. So I'm going to do it here in a slightly different color. Whoops. You could, when you're done, you can wipe off the paint or wait for it to dry. I didn't wait for it to dry, so I probably got some of that paint on it, but I'm not going to worry about that. You could also use spray paint and combine it with acrylic. Okay, I'm going to pull this off. There we go. So now we have two. So you can repeat images very quickly. You can combine that with painting. You can paint over them. You can paint under them. Other things you can do is you can get objects that you think that you like and work around them. So for example, like I find interesting objects a lot that I think would look cool in a painting. So for example, here is, well, here's a piece of, there's two things here. Let me try to separate. We can actually see both of them. So it's just using different techniques than just a brush. So here's a piece of wire and here's a piece of yellow. This is from the wrapper of lemons. So let's try both of them. Let me try this one first, and I might want to tape it if I wanted it to be perfect. You could also leave this in for a collage, but okay, let's pull it off. Ooh, it didn't turn out so well. Let's try it one more time. Because it's moving, so taping would be better. That looks a little bit better. Just try, I like to try different things. And I'm going to try the wire. This is just a practice canvas. Let's see how that looks. Looks interesting. It's making a texture. And I'm now going to try a doily. So this, I have used this a couple times with spray paint. It's caked with spray paint, but I just keep using it. So I'm going to try it up here. This is one of my favorite things to use because it makes really intricate and beautiful designs. It's not what it's meant for, but it comes out looking really cool. Let's get a little more paint. And let's see what that looks like. That is really nice. Doilies are one of my favorite things to use in paintings to create design or to create texture or to create pattern. You can also put objects and paint around them. So I have this it's a flower sticker. I'm gonna get a different one. Let me get a big one. Okay, so there's a big flower sticker. It's foam, and I'm going to take off the backing so it will stick to the canvas, and then I can take it off. Okay. So these are things that I like to sometimes leave in the painting, like as a collage element, sorry. But you could also paint around them. Just pushing it all the way down. So you could make, it's not really sticking. It's like a sticker. You can get these at Walmart. And you can add this, you could make just painting with this, or you could add it to a painting. And this is just a practice canvas. You could also put this down and spray paint over it, which is what I oftentimes do. It seems like it's not really, the reason I spray paint is because it gets in the crevices. And I use acrylic and oil over spray paint. Okay, let's try it. Well, it's not perfect, but you get the idea. And the last thing I want to show you on this demonstration is I found this outside. Hold on. This is also a really fun thing to do. This is like a leaf that I found outside, and you can paint it and press it. So I'm just getting some of the pink off my brush. I'm going to use green for this. So I'm going to move this over for a second, and I'm going to paint on it, and then I'm going to press it on the canvas and see what it looks like. So I'm making an imprint of this. There's tons of other things you could find if you just look at things with a creative eye. I find stuff all the time. Okay. And this can be repeated. So, like if you're doing a tree, you can actually put this in there, or something with leaves. So now I'm going to turn it around and let me move this over. I want to press it down. So you could like put it down under wood if you really wanted it to imprint, but I'm just going to lift it up and see what happens. Pretty cool. I could wash that off, which I'm going to do right now, or I could leave it and let the paint cake on it. I'm going to stop this here. Okay, so now we're going to see a demonstration. Usually you would do this on glass for printmaking, but I'm doing it on here for right now. I have my brayer and I'm going to roll. I have some white and pink. I'm just using a piece of cardboard. And if you want it to be like two-toned, you can do it like that. So I'm going to roll it on the print. Or on the linoleum. And I'm going to, hold on, I'll just do it over this. Press it down here. I want to press really hard and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to pull it up. Not liking that so much. I got some extra paint on there. Let me try this one. Since I already have this, so I'm going to roll. This one I carved it at a different time. So I'm going to roll it on there. And I want to get more. I want to make sure it's covered. Okay, and I'm going to put that one down here on the bottom. And then I'm going to lift it up. I like that one more. I maybe needed to press harder. And you can also paint with a brayer. I know I'm going on a tangent, but you can paint with a brayer like this. Some people do that to get texture to their paintings. Now I need to go wash all of these off. So I just wanted to show you that. I may use these little ones, but I may need to adjust how I apply the paint. I'm going to stop this here. You can also make your own stencils. So I wanted to make something possibly, maybe a swirl, because I don't have a swirl. So I'm just drawing on a thin piece of cardboard. I'm kind of making a wave, but I'm not meaning to. Just do a wave. I'll make it simple for now. So you could make a simple stencil and cut it out and use that as a repetitive form. Okay, so the cutout part will be here. So I'm just cutting it out. And there's my wave, and I could stencil that and repeat it. Stencil and repeat. And I want to make sure these are kind of at the same level. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. If I want to add this, like if I start this and then I add this to the next area. So let's see how that works. I'm getting this again. I'm going to turn it upside down because this is still wet. But let me get a brush. Actually, let me do it right here because I like those fish. So say I wanted to make a wave. You could do it either way. So you could paint on it and press it, or you could paint around it. And in this case, I'm painting around. So I'm just finding a brush. So I'm just getting some paint and I'm painting around it. And then I'll pick it up, and then I have my stencil. I mean, that's not, I could do something more detailed. I'm just giving you an example. You could make your own stencil. And then I also have some bubble wrap, and I want to see if I can imprint on this. So I'm getting some paint. Let me get a little bit more. I want to see what kind of imprint it makes. So I'm painting on it. And again, you could do this with anything. And let's see how this looks. So I'm going to push it down. And I'm going to pull it up. And actually, that looks really nice. I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to stop this for right now. Okay, so you could also make an image with spray paint. You can combine spray paint with acrylic or oil. I usually use it under oil. I like it because it has really bright colors. This is another form of ways that you can make imprints. So I have a black canvas, I have a star stencil, I have this flower, I have a ribbon, and I have leaves. I didn't tape them down. And I have this thing that I found outside that I thought would leave a really cool imprint. So let's see what happens. So I'm getting a light color spray paint. It's not really showing up. Hold on. Let's try it again. It blew the leaves, so I should have taped the leaves. But I'm just going to keep going. Oh, it made a really nice imprint of a leaf right there. Let's try that again. Okay. You can't really control it, so you have to work with that. But I combine spray painting in my practice often. Okay. You should do it outside because it smells. Now I'm going to pull this off and see what it looks like. So look at that. That's really nice. That's really beautiful. And so you can do this over a painting or under a painting and see how many combinations you could make. So you could make something like really, really pretty. You could wait till it dries. So you could wait till it dries and then you could add another color and make it like really interesting. So I'm going to try that right now. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm not going to make this complicated because I think you get the idea, but look at how cool that looks just with imprints of stuff. So I'm going to put this right here and this right here. That's too high. I want this flower to be lower. It's kind of still wet. So in the best of all possible worlds, I would wait for this to dry, but since I just don't have, I'm taking my camera into another room, so it's harder. I'm going to use this tape. And I'm going to put it on the back of the leaves. just try to get, well, it's not really working, but let's try it one more time with this one. So I would wait like 10 minutes for this to dry, but since I'm trying to do this fast, I'm just, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. The tape is not sticking. Okay, and I'm gonna get another color. I'm trying to get light colors because the background is black. So, sorry, I'm gonna get like a light purple. I'm testing it out on the cardboard. So I have it on something. There. Okay. Sometimes you need a few sprays before it gets started. So I'm gonna try. So now I'm adding another color, and then as you can see, the combinations can be endless because you could do acrylic on top of this. You could do oil on top of this. You could do this on top of acrylic or this on top of oil. I'm just shaking it up a little bit because I want the flower. Get some purple over here. Okay. I'm just going to pull it off. Usually I would wait for the whole thing to dry, but I can't keep my camera in here for a long time. And look at that. I mean, and then you can add to it. You can change it. I mean, this is not the best thing in the world. I didn't really plan it out. I just wanted to show you another technique, and you can combine that with all sorts of things. With collage, you could do this on top of a collage. You could make your own stencils. So that's just something I wanted to show you.